Hello, ladies and gentlemen, friends, neighbors, and everyone in between.
It is 8:30 in Vienna, which means that it's time for...
It
should be about something.
That's right.
Yes, today is the 2nd of March, 2023.
This is episode 74, and we are still in
The Grey Zone. There's been a lot of speculation about why we do this for the Grey Zone, and nobody knows. And if we did, we couldn't tell you.
Yeah, it's a secret.
It's too gross.
So, our show, It Should Be About Something, is something that we do every once in a while. The last time we did it was
a month ago, we just realized.
And we're going to take some time to catch each other up on what's been happening. And while we're doing that, why don't you put into the chat how your past 4 weeks have been? How you feeling? Anything cool happen? Anything weird happen? What's been going on? What's burning in your mind or in your pants?
Ooh, didn't see that coming.
Nope. You never
Burning
do.
in your pants.
You never see what's in my pants coming.
No, that's true. I never do.
But
I choose to work with him. Yes, I choose to work with him.
So go
It's a
ahead
choice.
and say hi in the chat, or if you want, just be a slurper hanging in the background, all you izbazoozlas and izbazites.
In the background, in the dark, in the shadows.
In the shadows.
Drinking in the shadows.
Drinking in the shadows. Why don't you, Michael, that's Michael, why don't you tell me a little bit about what's been going on your past 4 weeks with your bad self? While I
think most of the time my bad self has been my good self, and picking up slack. I think the reason we cancelled one of the shows in between was because everybody was sick in my house, like everybody.
Yeah.
What
happened there?
Yeah, everybody got the lurgy. Well, first of all, my kids got a vaccination, then they were feeling kind of poorly, and then they caught this gut stomach virus.
From the vaccine?
No.
Did the vaccine make your kids sick? Oh my God.
It did! I never realized this!
Oh, you should
My
have kept
God,
them
I should
warm.
sue the doctors!
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Okay.
So we were warned that it could come back like a week after the vaccination, that they could get these symptoms. They got the symptoms, And then after the symptoms, they had this tummy virus. They were throwing up. This is really funny.
Okay, you know what, Michael? You tell your damn story, and I'll tell you whether it's funny or not. Don't tell me how to feel about your story, all right? Don't manage my
It was funny to me.
All right, then.
Managing your expectations. Okay.
Go ahead, tell your damn story.
So you've got this baby in your hands, right? And you know it's going to throw up.
Yeah.
But you're standing over the carpet.
Okay.
And you're holding the baby over you. So
Okay.
so the first thing you realize is, oh, the baby's going to throw up. I don't want it to throw up on me. So you turn it that way so that the spout is away from you. But you're still standing over the carpet.
Right.
And you're like, oh, I'm standing on the carpet. And you hold it over the floor because that's easier to clean.
Yeah. So you've got your portable fire hose that you just move over.
You got this poor kid going, and you're trying to soothe him, but also trying to keep him from spurting on the things that are difficult to clean. It's so much fun.
You don't make a beeline and have him just spew right into the toilet. Just have him talk to Ralph.
Oh
on
no,
the big
God!
white
I think
phone
that would scare
directly.
I think that would scare the shit out of them.
Just
They've never seen the toilet.
Let him drive the porcelain bus.
It's more like probably think you're trying to drown him. I don't think they've ever seen the inside of the toilet. They've never been to that room before.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
So taking them to that room
Right.
in that kind of situation, I think would freak them out totally.
Right. Oh yeah. By the way, not only do you feel terrible, but here's a big, scary, weird
Hole
room
with water in the bottom.
It's got plenty of tiles, something of which you don't
Yeah.
really see very much in the rest of the house. Yeah, it's completely foreign.
Yeah.
And then leave them alone.
Prop them up against the side of it. You're on your own, kid.
Yeah. Go ahead. You can just rummage around in there.
Yeah. So then after that tummy virus thing was gone, we all got the flu. Mm-hmm. And that was no fun.
No, that sucks.
Yeah, and basically everybody's kind of on the mend or on the up and up now.
Yeah.
Kind of slowly getting better. Yeah.
Good.
But
And
it's
you've
been
also
3.5 weeks of hell. Like I spent several nights on the kitchen floor with either one of the kids.
Right. The kitchen floor because that's where you guys hang out.
Well, yes.
That's your main hangout
It's
pad.
kind of our main hangout thing, yeah.
Yeah,
And
not because the kitchen floor is cool and thank you for being so cool on the side of my face.
No.
Yeah.
Just because, well, crying. Like Julian had this thing the other day where he's like, it was just difficult to figure out what he wanted. He didn't want to sleep, didn't want to eat, didn't want to drink, didn't want to do anything. He was like,
Hated everything.
4 o'clock in the morning.
Wonder where he gets that from.
Yeah, he's teething. So, I think his teeth bug him quite a lot.
But
But the thing is, but now he has 5 teeth.
Right.
Florentina still has 0.
Whoa.
So he's eating biscuits. So no, their new thing is to eat biscuits.
Okay.
They get these little crunchy treats after they've had dinner.
Okay.
So he'll eat his. He's got these 1 tooth up front, up top that's come out all the way, and 1 tooth that's sort of out, and 2 teeth that are all the way out on the bottom.
Right.
So he can take something that's crunchy and go. He can get 3 teeth in it. So this minor crunch.
Yeah.
Florentina's sitting next to him with hers, and she's going.
Just gumming it.
He's crunchy. He's crunchy.
And so he's got crumbs, and she's just got like
No, they're
wet
both
mess.
They're both covered in wet mess. His crunchy treats. They start out fun and crunchy, but they always end up soggy and sticky.
Yeah.
Their hands are coated with it. Their faces are coated with it. They're stuck to the chair. It's great.
Now, beyond baby blues or stuff like that, you're also working on a thing, right? You've got.
So I have a concert. I have a concert next week.
You got 2 things you're working on.
A concert next week on the 9th, which I'm sharing with the very talented Elisabeth Canetis and her cousin Christina, who plays the cello.
Cool.
And they do this crazy thing where they do their versions of pop songs on the cello and vocals, and some cajon, I think. Yeah, I have yet to experience them doing it, but I'm psyched for it. And the week after that, I open at Cosmos Theatre with a cabaret piece that I've been writing for the past couple of months. We kind of started rehearsing it, and I think it's going to be very funny.
You've written it for this woman.
I'm writing
for
it,
and with this
for and
woman.
with, yeah.
And you're directing it.
And I'm directing it, yeah.
Right.
And her name is Suse Lichtenberger, the very talented Suse Lichtenberger. Yeah, plays piano and sings too.
Just music coming on all over the place.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
so yeah,
Well, you got to drop.
a lot to do right now.
You
but,
should
yeah.
drop in the ISBAZ HQ invitations to all of those things.
I think I will
Maybe
do that.
Some
think I will do
local
that.
ISBAZoozlas might want to stop by.
Is besides, yeah. I'd want to check it out. That'd be very nice, yeah, to see you. And yeah, that's basically been it. What about you?
The past month has been good. Acutely, I just...
Hang on, wait. Like, I'll tell you if it's cute or not, okay? Don't try to influence my experience of you, okay?
Sometimes I just wish you knew how words worked. Anyway, just acutely, I fucked up my back on Sunday at the wonderful Susie Rietz. She had her premiere of her
How'd that
cabaret
go?
show. I didn't get to go to the premiere because I fucked up my back.
Right.
But I was at her tech rehearsal helping her with that. And it's called Im Osten nichts Neues.
Yes, I saw the flyer on your VC.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I fucked up my back, and it's slowly getting better, which is nice. But in the past couple of weeks, I did a couple of things. One that I was
traveling quite a lot.
Yeah, I traveled a bit. One of the things that I was really proud of and really thought was just amazing was I got invited to be a guest professor, guest lecturer at the Ernst Busch Schauspielschule, or the Ernst Busch
Like
Schule für
the
Schauspiel.
premier Schauspielschule in Germany.
Yeah, and that was fantastic. I was there for a week working with students, and it was really, really cool. And it just so happened to be that on the Thursday of that week, I had already had a show scheduled with Jacob Bannigan and our duo, aka Rocket Sugar Factory. And so some of my colleagues from the school could come, and some of the students came, and it was just a hot show. It was really a good show. It was full. It was fantastic to see those guys from the Ratibor again, Sapfo and Eno, the brother and sister team that take care of the Impro Embassy and run that. They're just fantastic. We had this fella named Felix Raffel, who is a fantastic piano player and composer. He does a lot of work for film and television, and in fact, he had an Abgabetermin. He had to give up his final product for a movie for ZDF, which is a German television company, on that Sunday. But on the Thursday when we played, I convinced him to come to the school where I was teaching on the Friday, and he came and did some musical improvisation with the students, and so that was a really nice treat for them.
Cool.
And they had a great time. And the school has already asked me back.
Ah, nice.
So that's really cool, and we're trying to make that work. And yeah, so that whole trip was fantastic.
Did this happen because the Ernst Busch got wind of you teaching at the local place here?
I don't know exactly how it happened, but this past summer, I was at Lichau, at Hinnerbeck Festival in Lichau, and the director of the school was teaching there, as well as I was teaching. And when we met, she knew who I was.
Right.
She didn't know I was who I was.
Oh, right.
Because when we first met, we met through a friend, a mutual friend, and she looked at me. She goes, "Wait, you're Jim Libby?" And I was like, "Yeah." She goes,
"Are you the real Jim Libby?"
"Yeah." She goes, "Like vodka and Red Bull, Jim Libby?" And I was like, "Okay, obviously
there can only be one."
Yeah, obviously she's been talking to somebody, so she's done her research. And I was like, Yeah, I guess, in some circles I might, yeah.
Occasionally.
Yeah, and she was like, oh, okay, because the whole time I thought this other guy at the festival was Jim Libby. And I
Really?
was like, who? And she goes, yeah, he's sort of this like round-bellied guy with a long beard who was sort of walking around being very philosophical. And I'd heard that, you're often very philosophical. And
Really?
Yeah, I'm kind of the wise.
Okay.
When I'm teaching, I can be,
Wise
and philosophical.
Okay.
Not
Because
here.
you know how words
Not with
work.
you guys. No. But if you pay me.
Yeah.
I'm
Then,
being.
then you can know how. Then you can know how words work.
Oh, I'm the wise guy.
Words work.
Yeah, I know. I know how words work. I know what students want.
Nice.
That was the waitresses. Boys like me, and so that whole trip was fantastic, and to be kind of headhunted for it, that was really cool. It was quite an honor, and I got to meet this woman, and we got to talking, and just went like that really fast, and yeah, it's a fantastic fit, and I'm really psyched for all of it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are you gonna teach at the local place again? What's it called?
The Reinhardt-Seminar?
Reinhardt-Seminar.
Charleroi. They went through a regime change, and so whenever
Regime change because they're a dictatorship.
well, you know what I mean. Like you have
No, they totally are a dictatorship.
yeah, and so you never.
They're
know.
a goose-stepping mob.
I suppose. It's there's academia is always full of politics, and they are a university.
Yeah.
And on top of that,
it's full of dictatorial.
artists.
It's like everybody wants to take over the place.
Yeah, and it's
Take over
artist
and get their
academics.
cronies in.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody wants to be at the feeding trough and get all their cronies in at the feeding trough. So follower of Clay, I saw that you said there's a Rauschen.
Check.
What?
Check. Yeah.
Okay, so both of our mics are working. That's all I care
I think
about.
the Rauschen is either the computer, but that's never been a problem before.
Don't think so.
Or the Rauschen is the fact that we've got the wrong plug for the microphone, and we sort of jerry-rigged it. So maybe there's
Jerry-rigged it. Yes. You shouldn't be listening to this show on headphones, follower of Clay. It's bad for your health and it's bad for everything.
We can't be held responsible for.
I saw a really nice...
eargasms you're gonna have while listening to us.
Oh,
that
lack off.
Close up. Yeah, we're gonna give you an eargasm. An orgasm.
Ooh, he does know how words work.
Yeah, he does. Not just a pretty face.
Mr. Wordsworth.
Not just a pretty face.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot going on here, kids.
Yeah.
So let's go to the chat and see how these folks have been
should.
doing. Let's
So the
say
sound's
hello.
not optimal.
Sounds not optimal.
But hey, Moko's here. And Monica's changed her moniker.
What?
You see what I did there?
Monica has changed
Her
the
Monica
moniker.
from Moko to Monica.
Yeah, she's been Monica for a while.
I know.
We still call her Moko.
Moko because it's like ingrained.
Yeah, because Moko is Moko.
Yeah.
Do you have enough co? No, we need Moko.
Moko.
We need Moko.
There ain't enough Mo in this house.
Follower of Clay is also getting a big hello, and thanks for
Marcus-
blasting us through the apartment.
Marcus Burkhardt saw a bus driver taking a lead against the front of his bus today. That's nice.
Oh yeah.
I saw a guy on Ammerlinggasse the other day
Okay.
sitting on the passenger side of his car taking a piss in a beer can.
So, when I was a kid, I would often have these like fantasies. I'd be sitting in church because we got taken to church when I was a
This is
kid.
intriguing. I
And-
can't wait to find out where
And
this
I
is
would
going.
think to myself, okay, what if there was a nuclear, meltdown, or aliens came, and the only people that survived were the people that were in this room. So I'm in a church, I'm in a room with like 200 other people, and I would look around the room thinking, okay, if we are the only survivors, who is going to be the leader? Who's going to do what? Who's going to get with whom to continue
Right.
the
Human race.
Exactly. And that idea kind of stuck with me, and I would always think of it when I was doing something that I really wasn't into. So like, I always hated, like, okay, the first time I got taken to a strip club, I was just like, this is not my thing, I'm not into this. And then I thought, okay, what if the aliens come down and they just take all of the people who are in strip clubs? Do I want to be a part of this subset of humanity? And urinating in public was always like that for me. Like, I just don't, I'm not into it. In the woods.
I can't wait to do it with my kids, though.
Okay, I hear you, but like in the woods, in the fields, in
do
the
it
countryside,
anywhere.
that's fine. But just whipping it out and having to piss in the city was just like, I thought, if the aliens came down and just took the people who are publicly urinating, do I want to be a part of this?
When I was coming to your
group?
house today, at the train station, there was a guy walking in front of me down the platform into the main building, wearing a tracksuit, and his tracksuit was slit down the back, down the bottom, and his fucking hairy butt was hanging out. There was no underwear, no nothing. It was just, and he's like, yeah. Do you want to be in the?
Do you want to be part of that subset?
So part of that subset. Yeah.
So I think this is for me a nice little measuring stick. That if I'm ever in a situation that I'm like questioning, okay, am I into this or not? I think if the aliens came down and they only took the people that were doing this, do I want to be a part of that group?
Yeah, of course. The aliens are going to be interested in these weird subsets because they need to do.
They got to fill their zoo.
They've got to fill.
They've got a zoo.
They've got
that they need to fill.
That's right. They've got reality TV shows that they need to fill.
Have you never watched any science fiction? Star Trek.
Yeah.
The Twilight Zone.
That's right.
There's always an alien zoo.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's interesting that Marcus saw an actual bus driver taking a leak on his actual bus.
Yeah.
Or maybe he was just leaning
like
against...
maybe there was no tree.
He says he's taking a leak against the front. Okay. So yeah, I guess he was pissing on the front of his bus.
Yeah. Moving on.
Yeah.
Ulrike Eder's here. Bama. I'd like to know what Bama is about.
B-A-M-A, baby. Those are credentials.
Obama. Obama!
Thanks, Ulrika Bama.
No, nice.
Thanks, Ulrika Bama. I like Bama, Ada Bama. Ada Bama. It's like edamame, but Edabama.
Edamame is like a cheese, that edamame.
You know, like edamame, you know, like the peas that you get, the yummy edamame Asian peas that are toasted and salted and you suck them out of there.
I've never done that.
I've
never sucked on peas.
No, they're fantastic.
Really?
Edamame, yeah, they're great. But Edabama. Bama.
Yes. Follower of Claire again complaining about the sound.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's getting blasted through the apartment. Oh, yeah, right. Okay. So he doesn't wear headphones. Good.
That's right. So those are all the people in the chat. Thank you guys for joining us.
5 people in
That's
the chat.
fantastic. And if you're not on the chat right now, that's okay too. Just hang out. And if you want to jump in and say hi, go ahead and do it.
Please do.
All of these people that we've mentioned are super nice folks. In fact, I would put it to you that the ISBAZ, It Should Be About Something chat is the nicest place in all of the interwebs.
And internets.
Even in Russia, in the internets.
Yes.
The internets.
They say da to ISBAZ.
They say da to ISBAZ in the internets. So for those of you who may be joining us for the first time, and for those of you who join us all the time, because we understand you are a forgetful, drunken bunch.
Much like us.
Much like ourselves.
This show comes in several parts, doesn't it?
It does. It comes in 3 parts.
We call them segments.
No, we call them chapters.
Oh, that's right.
Jesus, it's only been 74 episodes. Motherfucker can't get that shit right.
It's been 4 weeks since the last show.
Yeah, whatever. We call them chapters.
I'm suffering from a brain drain.
This is chapter 1.
I'm seriously suffering from a brain drain, like from the lack of sleep. I think I'm suffering from a brain drain. I really have difficulty thinking these days.
So I'm not sure brain drain is the right term. I hear you though. On traditions, ... part 1, family. So what we're talking about here is what were the traditions in your family? What were the things that just had to happen? What were the, Christmas time, of course, always is full of traditions. What were the other traditions, though? Like, was there something that had to happen every time for mom or for dad? Was there something that you always did when this thing came around? What were your family traditions? And
How
while
about an Isbaz tradition?
well, I was just going to say, while you're thinking about that and chatting it up in the chat, we have an Isbaz tradition.
Whenever we drink, we play this little ditty.
Yeah.
So that you don't have to hear us slurp. And you should drink it as well and slurp really loudly.
Slurp as loud as you
Yes,
can.
but nobody can hear you.
Go ahead. Overtly slurp. Slurp, slurp.
So good.
See? Didn't hear one of those slurps, did you? Oops. That's right. Slurp, slurp. And we were the originators of Slurp, slurp.
Yes.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Don't let them tell you any different. They stole that from us.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
We're suing
Thank you for our shout out. Thank you for your shout out. You can send us the checks for that gag anytime. Slurp, slurp.
Those guys.
It's our catchphrase. Slurp, slurp.
So, family traditions.
Family traditions.
Aside, from the obvious ones.
Well, what's an
what
obvious
do you
one?
what do you got to go? Well, like the Christmas traditions, I guess.
Right. Well, that's why I
we
said
get into those.
You got the Christmas traditions, but
what's
everyone's got Christmas traditions. What
like-
other traditions did you have?
Like, I'm asking you.
Oh, you're asking me. Okay, so I think there were some traditions. Like, I want to say there was a big tradition in our house when I was growing up around back to school. It was something that came every year. Toward the end of August, the beginning of September, you'd get all these advertisements and specials in the newspaper advertising back to school. Well, thanks for yucking my yum, but let me get my shizzle out. Well, it was a tradition, and yeah, I did like it because there was something nice about the New Begin. I'm not necessarily saying I liked all the commercialism, although a Trapper Keeper was a hot shit thing. When I was a kid, Trapper Keepers, it was a kind of notebook, and it had a Velcro thing because it was Velcro. It was it was the 80s.
It was space age.
Yeah, and it had you could put stuff in it, and it came with pockets, and it was really cool. I think as a kid, I loved anything with pockets and drawers and that dream of secret doors or
Invisible ink.
And stuff that you could put in anywhere. Anyway, the tradition, and then getting new clothes, whether they be hand-me-downs or stuff from the church or.
But you didn't wear a school uniform.
No, I didn't have a school uniform, but my mom would take me shopping, and I would get a new outfit or two at back to school times, but it was always a combination of hand-me-downs or stuff from the church or from we would kind of go shopping. I remember the transition between 6th and 7th grade, because 6th grade was the end of elementary school and 7th grade was the beginning of junior high for me. And junior high meant going to another school, so now you're not just in the little room with the 30 kids that were your age and you went to school with for 6 years. Now you're meeting kids from 4 different towns around, and they're all concentrated, and you've got classes, and you have to go from biology to phys ed to geography and whatever. And I remember being really excited because even then I was kind of fashion forward. I liked classic things, and I was very influenced by Miami Vice. And to my first day of school.
Were you influenced by Don Johnson or?
Yeah, sure. By all of it. All of it. And I had a white Sacco with a gray T-shirt, a gray long sleeve T-shirt, and a cool pair of pants. They were probably gray.
Slacks.
No, they were probably more like parachute pants or like, or probably like cargo pants is what they would call them nowadays. I don't think
pockets.
they were. Yeah, with pockets on the thighs, and it was kind of hip. I remember trying to rock a hat, but I couldn't. That probably came 8th grade because my buddy Bill Sampson had a hat that he just rocked. He looked like he was so cool. Yeah. Anyway, that tradition of going back to school, of of getting your stuff, of letting go of summer, getting ready to start this new adventure, a new year, a new chance at creating yourself, or that was really cool, and I kind of liked that tradition.
Wow. It used to annoy the crap out of me that in the middle of summer, the TV would start playing back to school adverts. Because I would be like, I still have another 4 weeks of holiday, or another 3 weeks of holiday. Just get this out of my face.
I had one summer where toward the end of August, I realized I hadn't written anything for months because of the summer holiday. And I was terrified that I had forgotten how to write. And I remember searching around the house for like a pen and a pencil. It's just like, can I write still? And like, oh yeah, I can still do that.
Yeah, it is kind of weird when you're kind of new to doing something, remembering how to. It's like doing this show.
Yeah. Do we still
Every
know how
time
to
we do
that?
this show, I mean, how do we hook up that camera?
I
Yeah.
don't know. So, what do you got? What do you got tradition-wise?
Well, I'm happy that the chat has things.
No
that,
looking
that,
at the chat
No,
yet.
I need to look at the chat because I can look at the chat now.
Yeah, sure.
Like getting into a fight before every holiday, like getting into a fight before Christmas dinner every year before Christmas. That was a definitely family tradition in our house.
Right, but we're not going to Christmas
All right.
yet. What's another tradition that you had in your family?
Did
Did you go on vacation every year?
No.
All right. The preparation for this show is so minimal.
It is. It is so
And he
minimal.
still can't get it
Well,
together.
because I didn't know that you were going to cut out Christmas traditions. He did that on the fly at the top of this show. Like what else? Like you took out all the main interest.
Well, we'll get to it, but that's too easy. It's low-hanging fruit. I want you to work a little bit for this.
Actually, there wasn't a lot that we did, or that sort of comes to mind that we do every year, or that was kind of institutionalized.
Oh, come on. There's tons of... Okay, so like it doesn't have to be an every year thing. Here's another one, right? So tradition in my family was, if we're going on a road trip of any length, if we're getting into the car for any length of time, Mom is the last one to go to the bathroom and the last one in the car.
Right.
She's the last one in the car so that she can be the last one to go to the bathroom before we get into the car. And at the time, it used to make me laugh because it just was a thing that happened every single time. It was a tradition. Now, I totally understand it. I totally get that. I get why. She's got TWBS, teeny weeny bladder syndrome. You want to be the last one to get it all out before you have to go, because who knows what's going to happen. I totally get that.
Right.
In summertime, we had a tradition that when the whippoorwill, which is a kind of bird, and we had a fat old whippoorwill that would go whip-a-woo, 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 and it would always sing around 9 o'clock at night. Like you could set your watch by it, and when the whippoorwill went off, that's when I had to come home from playing. And that was summertime tradition.
Right. Okay, so one of the traditions that we had was, I think it was Friday nights. We would eat together as a family in front of the TV.
That's a total tradition.
That was the only time we'd eat in front of the TV.
Okay. Did you
ever.
eat together as a family every night?
Yes.
Okay. And
I guess that's
normally it was
kind
at
of
the table.
traditional. And normally it was at the table, yeah.
Right. So I had a buddy
With the TV off.
I had a buddy who his family would eat at the table together every night. That it blew my mind.
Yeah.
Because that was not my experience.
We totally did that.
And then
like every
Friday night was special.
And Friday night was special because we'd have sausages.
And you had the same food.
Yeah, it was the same.
This is a
That was
total
the same food.
Yeah, man. That's a
Like
tradition.
most of the time. And I think we'd watch probably prime time TV in the 80s in South Africa was probably something like Colombo.
Right.
Or something of that ilk.
Right. Did you have TV trays? Did you
We
have
had
those foldable trays that
we
went
had
into the
those-
stand and you'd pull them out?
Yeah, well, we had
put
these
the
little
thing and
TV
clock it in.
TV dinner tables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TV dinner tables. They had the cross binds.
No.
No,
These
not
were
those kinds.
different.
Or would they
They're
sit?
plastic.
Would they sit on your lap?
No, they'd stand in front of you, and they were too short, so you couldn't actually put them on your knees. Like you had to bend over.
Bend
them.
over. Yeah. We had. For me, it was the era of the TV. They called them TV trays, but it was actually like a little table. You'd have 4 or 5 of them. They would stand in a little stand, stacked up with one another, and they would be a flat surface that you would fold up, and then the cross binds would get clicked into the bottom, and they'd stand in front of you, and then you have your
No, we
TV
did not
dinner.
have those.
No.
Ours were plastic.
Yeah. Nice.
With stick-on plastic legs that you'd
You would
stick
have
in
to
the bottom.
stick them in
yeah.
on all 4 corners.
You could stack them if you wanted to, but yeah. And you would have to watch out if you lifted it, because sometimes one of the plastic legs would fall out.
Of course. Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. All right. What about, did you have any traditions around going to bed, or did you have any traditions around any of your birthdays, or like mom or dad's birthday, or did your parents celebrate their wedding anniversary every year? Was there anything in the family that got celebrated that wasn't necessarily a societal celebration?
Nothing comes to mind, no. My parents would celebrate their anniversary. Sometimes we'd go out for dinner with them, and sometimes they'd do something on their own.
Right.
Depends. There's no like particular thing that I remember now.
Yeah. Okay. I think every family has traditions. They have to.
I guess so.
You know, it's a tribal thing. You know, you are that little stamm, and
Yeah.
there's always going to be those things.
There's not much that comes to mind. And I think it might have a lot to do with both my parents always saying, oh, we've done that before, let's do something else this year.
Oh, were they newness junkies?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like we never went on holiday to the same place twice.
Okay.
Or we never did the same kind of excursion twice.
Okay.
And I think particularly my mom would always frown at people who went to the same place every year for holiday. Like, that's boring.
Right.
You go this. You've been there. You've done everything. Right.
I thought of another tradition. It was also a summertime tradition. We weren't allowed to ask to go swimming until it got to 81 degrees Fahrenheit.
How much is that in real temperature?
81, someone out there can maybe, hit the Googles. What is 81 degrees Fahrenheit? It's going to be 40, it's going to be, wait, you divide by 2 is 40, and then minus 32, 8 degrees? No, it's not 8 degrees. It's going to be like 20 degrees or something like that.
You were quite far up north, so I guess it takes a while for it to hit 20 degrees.
Yeah. But it would be hot enough, and we'd be like, can we go swim? No, you're not allowed to ask until it was 81 degrees on the thermometer. And so we would stick that thermometer always in the sunniest place in the house and, just try to pump that shit up. Because we want to go to Lake Pequawket. We want to go to Lake Pequawket. We want to go down to the bridge. We want to go to Lake Pequawket. We want to go swimming. It's time. Until then, okay, maybe you can get the sprinkler out.
Mm-hmm. We had a slip and slide when we were kids.
You had a slip and slide?
Yeah.
We had a tarp. We had a plastic tarp.
Might even work better than a slip and slide.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was
You
pretty
just
good.
get the hose going at the top of that, and that's fine. 27 degrees Celsius? Wow.
27 degrees is 81 degrees. Oh, dang, 27 degrees.
warm.
That's really warm.
That's like bath water.
Yeah. That's Philly girl being all like, I don't want to deal with putting bathing suits on children, let alone 4 children on my only day off. You just wait until there's a heat wave. Then we can go swimming.
Do you remember watching Magnum PI on TV?
Not specifically. I have a few memories of it. Yeah, but I mean most.
Like Magnum was primetime TV as well for like a long time.
I was a MASH fan back then.
MASH was on way later. It wasn't on prime time. It was on 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night.
Okay.
But
yeah,
Miami
I totally
Vice was
remember
on late as well. It was all like 10 or 10:30.
Yeah.
After all the kids had gone to bed.
Okay, so let's go to the chat and see what's happening here with these guys and their traditions here in the chat. Marcus got cake on Sundays. Now that's a very German
Is
tradition.
it self-baked cake or brought-in cake? That's.
I'm going to guess.
That.
What do you think? Is Marcus's mom?
I think it's self-baked. I think it's
Marcus's
home-baked
mom
cake.
is making a cake,
Yeah.
and she does that every Sunday. And what a nice thing to do. Follower of Clay is saying that his most excellent lady friend, Andrea, does my parents spontaneously taking us on week-long road trips whenever they were trying to get their marriage together count.
What?
So her parents would, whenever her parents were trying to get their marriage back together, they would take them on spontaneous week-long trips. Yeah, I'm not sure that's quite a tradition, but if they did it regularly,
They're regularly trying to get there.
Hey, you know what the best way we can think of to try to patch up our relationship is?
Really stress everybody
Let's
else.
put some kids in a car and go away for a week. Let's get into a small metal tube and just sweat it out with each other.
So, follower of Clay had a model railway set at Xmas. That's nice. I wanted to set up a model railway set this Xmas, but I just was like, I'm not doing this.
Okay.
It's just too much work.
Oh,
I was just happy I got the tree in.
Yeah, they don't care anyway. You know, you got to wait till at least next year.
I wasn't doing it for the kids. I was doing it for me.
Well, I know, but nobody cares except for you, and you've got a lot of other things to do.
But I was like, there was so much stuff going on. I was like, I can't even bother to do it for myself.
Mm-hmm. So,
Magnum PI.
Magnum was on Tuesdays. Philly girl, Easter bunny cake every year. So my mom would make a cake, an Easter bunny cake. It was a carrot cake with cream cheese frosting. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you right here and right now, there is nothing in this world. There are very few things in this world that can compare to the silky, smooth sexiness of a good cream cheese frosting.
Silky smooth sexiness.
I tell you. And so it was a carrot cake with cream cheese frosting, and she would bake a pancake, and she would cut it, and it would form an Easter bunny. Or a bunny, and she would have jelly beans for eyes, and she would decorate it, and there would be the plastic grass around it, you know. And I would always run my finger around the outside of any of these cakes just to get that silky, sexy, yummy cream cheese frosting.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of carrot cheesecake. In fact, I think it's one of the best types of cake.
I don't think I've ever had a carrot cheesecake. That sounds good, though. Sounds good. Yeah, and so that was Easter. Easter had a lot of traditions around it. Did you do Easter egg hunts when you were a kid?
Yeah. Not kind of semi-regularly. There was a couple of years when we went to my great aunt's for Easter, and they had this huge garden, this big farm, right? And they would hide the eggs in the garden.
Yeah.
And my brother and I would go around a pail looking for
Fantastic.
them. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, sure.
Like you'd be finding eggs the day after, or like 3 days later, you'd still be finding little bits of eggs somewhere. Right?
So Anna's parents, my lady friend Anna, she her parents get together with the whole patchwork family, and there's a bunch of youngins in that family, and I've been around now a couple of times, and every year at Easter they do this Easter egg hunt, and Dad and a couple of the boys go out and lay out the eggs everywhere. And this past year everyone was meeting at this one space, and we were all sharing this sort of like mini hotel, and just down the street from there was this lovely, beautiful, field with a river, a little brook running through it. And it was just that hard spring light, and everything was a little shiny, and the kids just dug it. And I think, in 25 years, we can have this conversation with them and be like, what was your tradition? And they'd be like, oh man, going Easter egg hunting.
Yeah.
Traditions, are you for them or are you against them? Your parents were always looking for newness, but of course they had traditions. In the family.
Sure, they were traditions.
You have to have traditions. Do you, well, that's going to be a question for part 2 probably, about the traditions you have in your current relationship. We'll make that part 2. Any other traditions from your family? Anything?
Nothing I can think of right now.
Philly Girl also mentions making sled runs in the front yard every winter.
Mm-hmm.
Every winter, making bobsled runs, because our house was kind of up on a. For me, it was a big hill, but if you go by it now, it's nothing. But oh man, that was total tradition. Building the bobsled runs, getting the sleds going, getting the jumps, getting the banks, getting the curves. Yeah, awesome.
Nice. I wonder whether there's ever going to be that much snow again.
Global warming, people, it's a thing.
Yeah.
It's totally a thing. I don't know who needs to hear this, but it's a thing. We're fucked.
It's snowed a couple of times out our way, but I think once it stayed overnight, so I built a snowman.
Yeah.
But every other time it's gone within a couple of hours.
Yeah. Shit's crazy. It's a thing. All right. Shall we move on?
I think we should.
Well, then, you know what, people? This is going to happen right now. We're moving on to chapter 2. We're going to need fresh drinks for chapter 2.
Definitely.
Chapter 2, people, on tattoos. Do we like them? Do we hate them? Do they have significance?
Do we know people who have them?
Does it matter anymore? Did you ever want one?
Are you going to get one? Are you planning on getting one?
Give me your water glass. Everything about tattoos. We're going to structure it this way. Let's start with tattoos then and tattoos now.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
So, tattoos then.
Well, tattoos then, definitely a no-no.
Oh shit, sorry, I just fucked up the drinks.
You poured Red Bull in my vodka.
I did. We're going to have to switch glasses.
What's this?
Vodka.
In what was once a Red Bull glass.
Yes, I'm sorry, I
It's a
fucked
total
it up.
fuck up.
Jesus Christ.
This is our tradition. Somebody always fucks something up.
And now we're swapping spit. Somebody fucks something up, and Jim and Michael swap spit. Okay, so back then, tattoos.
So back then, tattoos was bad.
Tattoos were bad.
Definitely.
Tattoos were bad.
So only.
Do you remember the first person you that was like in your life that had a tattoo?
Had a tattoo.
That you recognized it as, that's a tattoo, and that's badass, or that's.
I think it was probably one of my colleagues at acting school. Was probably the first person I regularly hung out with.
Who had a tattoo?
Had a tattoo, yeah.
You didn't have tattoos in South Africa? Oh, Michael
grew
grew up a poor child in South Africa. He never wear shoes. He didn't have any tattoos. He just
couldn't afford them.
Sang the blues.
Slipping.
Slurp, slurp, people.
I think the society that I grew up in South Africa was extremely conservative.
Okay.
So tattoos was like only something for jailbirds and possibly merchant seamen, but
Yeah, totally.
otherwise it was
Totally.
like, nobody had tattoos, right?
My Uncle Bud had a tattoo. I can't remember if my grandfathers had tattoos. I wonder.
The first time I saw
wonder.
a tattoo on someone, and probably not the first time I saw a tattoo, but the first colleague that I, like say, person I was acquainted with closely for a lengthy period of time, I was like, it was like the epitome of what a tattoo is. A bad choice made by someone in a bad time of their life, right? Because it was a shitty tattoo that he'd got in Amsterdam on a drunken night.
Right. Classic.
Yeah, total classic. Yeah.
So I remember it used to be that people who had tattoos made me scared.
Mm-hmm.
And nowadays, people with tattoos make me lunch or coffee
Right.
or my drinks. Because everyone has a goddamn tattoo, and they're all in the service industry.
Someone does your teeth.
Yeah. So back in the day, my buddy Bill and my buddy Jeff, they were the first in my clique to get tattoos. They each got the same tattoo. Mm-hmm. And I remember being there when they got the tattoos. I remember my dad discovering us while they were getting their tattoos and him being mad at me because he thought I was getting a tattoo, but I was not getting a tattoo. And back then, we were trying to rationalize the getting of the tattoo. I mean, the two of them, I think, had already decided they were getting it and they didn't need a rationalization.
What was the tattoo of?
A spider on their shoulder. Because they kind of called each other Spider.
Right.
And I remember saying, in life, we often get scars that stick with us for our lives. And a tattoo is just a planned, decorative scar.
Right.
You're planning the scar. It's a decorative scar. It's a planned,
Kind of a
decorative
choice.
scar, rather than a scar that you get that's unplanned and
Or
not
undecorative.
decorative. Yeah. Or decorous.
I have a friend who has a planned scar. It's not particularly decorative.
What was the planned scar?
He worked in a pizza joint.
Right.
And you'd have to put the pizza in. It's like one of those pizza joints that where you put the pizza in and it would go on this kind of
Conveyor belt.
Right?
Yeah.
And opening up the hatch and taking the pizza out, easy to burn your shoulder on that hot part of the stove.
Right.
And everybody had burnt themselves at some point. So the game was then, okay, well, just everybody has to get burnt.
Right.
So they'd kind of intentionally burn themselves on the shoulder.
Right,
and he had this huge fucking burn on his shoulder.
Yeah. There was in North America there was a time where you got a certain vaccine that left a circular
I have that, yeah,
scar,
it's-
and you could tell how old somebody was because at some point they stopped doing this, and that's not a
It's
planned.
polio.
Yeah, but it was an unplanned decorative scar or a marking scar. In any case, yeah, back then, the people that I would meet, that had tattoos were merchant sailors or criminals.
Drug dealers.
Yeah. There was a short time in my high school where some of the Hessians, we call them Hessians, you might call them burnouts, you might call them, I don't know, just, that ilk of kid who didn't give a shit, smoked cigarettes. And, they would do their prison tattoos. In German, they called it Peckel.
Yeah.
And it would be a cross or a circle or something,
Make them themselves, yeah.
Yeah. And I just always thought, this,
Why?
Yeah, why? And then after Jeff and Bill got theirs, Bill kind of continued in that. He was the first of us that, got his ears pierced, and then he got gauges. He got a huge tattoo of a screw, of a wood screw on his back, because his family had hardware stores.
Right.
And there was a lot of personal attachment to everyone that had a tattoo. Here's a quick little super sexy version. quick little super section insertion. This is not about tattoos, but in the 90s, when piercing was really gaining traction in popular culture, I got invited to a house party where a famous piercing artist had been brought up from New York to Portland, Maine, and we were at this house where this punk girl that I knew and hung out with, she got the hood of her clitoris pierced. Yes, the hood of her clitoris pierced. And I got to watch that shit. And it was really interesting. It was really, really interesting. But back to our story about tattooing.
I was at a concert because you said spider on the shoulder, right? And I think one of the reasons why I haven't got a tattoo myself is because I've seen so many bad examples of tattoos.
Oh yeah.
And there are so many tattoo shops around, and I think you can really get. Basically, what's happening is you're getting plastic surgery that is going to be very difficult to fix if it goes wrong from someone who's kind of a mechanic. Mm-hmm. And I was at this concert once in the old rock house. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember who the band was, but in between the opening band and the main act, the moderator came on stage and they were talking about tattoos and there was like people from the audience were supposed to come up and show their tattoos, right? And a couple of guys went up on stage and took their shirts off and showed their back tattoos. And they were all standing with their backs to the audience. And he kind of walked down the line of guys and said, this is this and this is this and this and this. And he gets to the third guy, he's like, what the fuck is this? This is terrible.
What was it?
It was a bird of some sort or something like that, spreading its wings. And he was just so derogatory about this poor guy's tattoo. He got on stage in front of an audience of like 2,000 people, I guess, or maybe 1,500, right? And showed his tattoos. And the MC's like, this is terrible, man. Just get off stage, right? What is it? And the guy was, well, it's this, it doesn't look like that at all. Just
asshole. You know, I get it. It's probably really funny, you know, and it makes a but Jesus, you know.
And it was all over his back. It was a huge tattoo. And I think to myself, well, you know, a tattoo can go really, it can really go the wrong way.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of stuck with it.
Yeah, and I mean, there are lots of famous examples of that. You know, in the interwebs nowadays, of course, you can Google bad tattoos and get the 100 worst tattoos everywhere. But most of the people that I know are very happy with their tattoos. There's very rarely that you actually meet somebody who they themselves aren't happy with their tattoo. And I'm
sure it's because they live with it. It's like you live with. It's like you live, and I wouldn't choose to have any of the scars that I have, but I'm quite happy living with them because they are part of me, and I think that is the rationale behind that.
You remind me of the famous words of Frank Oral, the poet and singer, who had this beautiful line that I always come back to. You should be proud of the scars that you wear on your skin. No, we should be proud of the scars that we wear on our skin to remember the places and people we've been.
Sure. Yeah, and I guess that's how everybody who has a tattoo feels about them.
Yeah, because it's a planned decorative scar. You know, we're there.
Or it's a reminder of the person you were.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because at some point it was planned, right? Yeah. You had to go and do the thing. And I had an ex-girlfriend who had gone to Amsterdam and with 3 of her girlfriends, and they were all best friends, and so they each got a tattoo, and all 4 of the tattoos told a story together, and you know, it was a thing that kind of bound them, just like the boys getting their spider tattoos. I think all of my sisters have tattoos. I'm not sure of that. Maybe someone out there can confirm or deny. I know my sister Mary has a great big sunflower tattoo on her back where the stem goes down to the crack of her ass. And I would always be like, okay, so that's where the fertilizer comes from.
The sun shines out of her ass.
Well, the sunflower shines out of her ass. Yeah. There are a lot of people in my life with tattoos, but I myself never got one. And I think no tattoo is the new tattoo. 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 Rod Ben-Zeev and I would do that. I remember one time teasing him. I kept saying, like, no, I got an idea for I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. He was like, no, don't get one. Don't get one. You'll never be able to be buried in a Jewish cemetery. I like that he was looking after my afterlife.
You can't be buried in a Jewish cemetery if you have a tattoo. Is this what Rod Ben-Zeev says?
Yeah, I think that's true. Mm-hmm. I think that's a tradition, a Jewish tradition. Yeah.
Jewish tradition, right? Okay.
Yeah. No tattoo is the new tattoo. No tattoo is the new tattoo.
Let's go to the chat. I want to know about people's tattoos.
All right, let's find out what people are saying about their tattoos. Marcus says, have them, forgot about them, but I'm happy every time I recall or see them.
I've seen Marcus in bathing trunks on several occasions, and I can't remember a tattoo.
Oh, let's guess. What does Marcus have for a tattoo?
If I could choose a tattoo for Marcus, I'd choose a bear.
Like what kind of bear?
Like a grizzly bear on his shoulder.
Like a real grizzly bear?
No,
or like a big cartoon grizzly bear?
No, you fool, a proper bear, not a teddy
like,
bear.
Like a realistic grizzly bear, sort of like snarling head on.
Like a snarly grizzly bear.
A snarling grizzly bear. There you go, Marcus. If you don't have a snarling grizzly bear...
Maybe it's a snarling grizzly bear that kind of incorporates some of his chest hair as pelt.
Christ. Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Have you ever seen people with tattoos that include the nipples?
Yes.
Like it turns the nipple into something.
An eye or
yeah.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very creative.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's funny that you forget about your tattoos and then you remember them.
How does that work?
Yeah.
So you like
you just become used to it. You like the smell of your own breath.
Like it's not quite the same thing.
I think it's exactly the same thing. Yeah. It's just getting used to it. It's
all right. Okay.
Father of Clay, I may have a few, and the last 4 are important to me. So that would, for me, indicate that the first ones were just for the shits and giggles, I guess, or just to do it. Maybe it's a peer pressure thing. I think there are definitely groups of friends that where that becomes a thing.
Yeah, I got an ear piercing because my buddy Guido got his ears pierced.
Yeah, I probably pierced my ears because of that too. Although I probably
if I could do it again, like I wouldn't do it because it's a fucking mess.
Yeah.
Right.
Philly Girl 1000 says, yes, they do. So apparently all of my sisters have tattoos.
Right.
I'm the only one in my family that doesn't have a tattoo. Philly Girl 1000 has a tattoo. No, I don't know if that's true. Shit, I wish I could have held
Marcus says it's a dolphin and something abstract.
Ah, okay, dolphin.
Dolphin?
Yeah.
I would never have taken you for a dolphin guy, Marcus. But
yeah.
Nice.
And Noah Kennedy in the house. Hello, Noah. Noah says his mom has a tattoo. So
what has she got?
I don't know.
Well, how would you know what tattoo Noah Kennedy's mom's got?
Because I know who Noah Kennedy's mom is. Noah Kennedy is my nephew.
This might be too much.
Noah Kennedy's my nephew.
Oh, I see. Right, I get it.
He's my nephew.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so he's saying his mom, my sister.
Yes. No, I got that far.
Yeah, okay. No, Philly Girl does not have a tattoo. What is it?
Afraid of needles.
Moko, we miss Moko. So Moko says she has one, had it done on her 21st birthday in San Diego.
Yeah.
Doesn't need any more. So the 21st birthday, that's a big birthday. And probably being in San Diego was a big thing. And so to commemorate that, you get a plain decorative scar to always remember.
No, I can totally get with it. Yeah. I wouldn't know what to get though. This is the thing. Like I've really given it a lot of thought because I thought,
Really?
well, I would like to have a tattoo. I think I could be someone who has a tattoo, but I wouldn't know what the fuck to get.
Right.
So I've spent time in front of the the windows, the shop windows of tattoo artists. Like, this is all just junk, right? Like, what would I get? And then sort of gone through the idea of what would my own design be. It's like, man, there's nothing that I think that I could live with once it's on there.
So when I was in 7th or 8th grade, I'm going to say I'm definitely junior high. Maybe a freshman in high school, but around that time. In my library, I found, thrown away, a stack, maybe this high, of bookmarks. And the bookmark was kind of cut in half. One half of the bookmark said, reading is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The other half of the bookmark was a question mark in some kind of font. And I loved it. I glommed onto that. I rescued all of these bookmarks. I cut them all, and I had this question mark that I would put everywhere because I still am, I was then and still am convinced that living in the question is way more exciting than anything else. That a good question is way more valuable than a good answer, and that as long as we are in the question, as long as we are asking questions, answering those questions,
the journey
and then
is
questioning
the
those
experience
answers,
and not the destination.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. But, going through that process of asking questions, answering those questions, and then questioning those answers, living in the question is a really important place to be. And so if even back then, I was thinking, if I were ever to get a tattoo, it would be a question mark.
Ah, that's kind of nice. I like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that's as far as I have ever gotten.
Yeah.
I've thought about
would it be a big one or just like a small one?
Yeah, exactly. I've thought about all those things.
Like right down your back, this huge question mark.
But then, there was a long time where it wasn't salonfähig, and I would think, okay, if the aliens came down
and only took the people with question mark tattoos
that were getting tattoos at this moment,
no question
would
mark.
I want to
only
be a
the
part?
question mark tattoos.
No, because nobody else is going to have a question mark tattoo.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Well, maybe, but I wasn't thinking that way, of course. I was thinking this was specific to me.
You're gonna
any case.
You're going to be in a container with a bunch of freaks.
Yeah, well, where are you going to put the question mark?
Yeah. Where are you going to
As
put
a
it?
tramp stamp?
On the sole of your foot.
I had enough problems with people thinking I'm gay. Can you imagine if I had a question mark tramp stamp?
Or like inserting your belly button.
Using one of your nipples as the dot. Just one.
It's an upside down question mark.
No. Like a pictorial.
Right.
A peck tattoo.
Yeah.
It's just but with
Nice.
your nipple as the dot.
And Marcus is like apex predator.
A dolphin is
the dolphins are the bears of the ocean.
So that's what it was. It was just a shaved grizzly bear is a dolphin.
Nice.
The older he gets, it looks more like an orca. That's really funny. It reminds me of
black and white.
So I lived in Key West, Florida for a while, for a year.
Is there any other Key West? There's only Key West in Florida. And I think I've asked you this before. Why say Key West, Florida, if there's only one Key West?
I don't know.
You don't say Amsterdam in the Netherlands. You say Amsterdam.
I think it's for me. It's kind of like there are certain groups of people. Here's another sexy. Yeah, super sexy insertion. Just to insert this into the conversation. I don't know if this is your experience, but I have spent my life being called Jim or Jim Libby. And there are certain groups of people that will only call me Jim Libby. It's always Jim Libby. It's not just Jim, it's Jim Libby. And there was a group of people who would call me. I had two friends, and they had a small child. And these two friends would call me Jim Stone, Libs. They would call me lots of different things.
Right.
But as soon as that kid could talk, I remember going to visit one time, and the kid was just like, "Can I show Jim Libby?" I was like, how does he even know my last name, and let alone call me Jim Libby? So that's a weird thing. I think, you get called Jim Libby or Jim. I don't know anymore why
Where
we
is
were
this
talking
going?
about this. I can't remember. So
that was such a weird insertion.
It was a weird
I
insertion.
feel violated.
Oh, because we were talking about...
You put it in all the way, and I don't know why you did it.
Just enjoy it while it's there. And then we'll pull it out.
It's not permanent.
It's not permanent. The question mark, where do you put it? The pictorial, I can't remember anymore.
I can't.
In any case, we're talking about tattoos. Does anybody have any idea?
Harry
Oh,
Orca.
the orca. So, I lived in Key West, Florida. Jesus. I lived in Key West, Florida.
Right. Okay, good.
So, you say Key West, Florida, like you say Jim Libby. You just say the whole thing.
Right, I
Sometimes you just say the whole thing. So anyway, I'm living in Key West, Florida. I'm living with this guy. He was a very famous model in the 80s from Venezuela. And we used to call him Abuela. He was, older than us. And he, one day, he says...
Abuela from Venezuela.
Yeah. Super gay. And his name was Oscar de Leon. And he was quite famous. Lived with his ex-nurse from Sweden, boyfriend at the time, Johnny. They're now living in Sweden. Anyway, he would say, Jean, look, on my ace, I have a tattoo. And it was a tattoo of a strawberry. No, shit. He goes, it's a tattoo of an apple. And he had an apple tattooed on his ass. And he says, but now I'm older. The older I get, now look at it, it's just a strawberry. Because the apple has been sagging down. I'm too drunk to tell the story. In any case, your dolphin turns into an orca and Oscar's apple turns into a strawberry.
A large strawberry.
A large, droopy strawberry. I think we need to call it, because...
are we done with this?
Noah Kennedy is telling tales and says, my sister has a yin-yang tattoo. Is it yin-yang or is it yin-yang?
I thought it was yin-yang.
I think it's yin-yang. Just to, not to correct you, but just to, just to say hi. Remember, it's yin-yang.
I think if Follower of Clay got a tattoo, it should definitely be a mushroom of some sort.
Oh, he's... I don't know. I think he doesn't need a tattoo of mushrooms. He keeps them in his armpits.
They grow there.
Yeah. Follower of Clay, have you ever grown mushrooms on your body? Marcus, need to keep warm in the Arctic waters. Oh, the orca. Yeah. We lost Jim. Yeah, we did. So we're gonna take a quick break. This is just a moment to take a break and have a word to our sponsors. That's everybody out there.
Slurping in the background.
Slurping through the commercial.
It's what everybody does.
That's what everybody
You get
does.
up to go and take a pee, or you drink, or you eat.
That commercial is not long enough to get up and take a pee.
If you were dedicated, you could do it. You're just not dedicated
The
enough.
average pee
You
lasts
don't need to pee.
21
You
seconds.
don't need to pee enough. You don't need to pee all of it out. Like you could have a full bladder.
Just got to pinch it off.
And go,
Just go, get a little bit
just
out,
get the
pinch
top
it off,
out.
and then get back.
Just get some of the pressure out. Yeah.
Tie a knot in it. Put a cork up there.
Yes, there's a hint. Before you getting a tattoo, picture what it would look like when you're old and saggy.
Yeah, so I remember already back in the 90s when everyone was getting a tattoo, having those conversations already back then, being like, all right, so we're going to be in old people's homes.
Yeah.
And there's just going to be a ton of saggy tribal tattoos and tramp stamps, which, by the way,
I think tramp stamps might be the ones that last the best,
yeah,
the
but
longest.
okay, tramp stamps. By the way, in German, a tramp stamp is called an Arschgeweih, which means ass antlers, and I think that's hilarious. It's way better than tramp stamp. Ass antlers is fantastic. In any case, I think the ass antlers are all going to start to sag as well, eventually.
You think?
Oh yeah, there's going to be a lot of saggy tattoos out there.
Marcus Burkhardt is talking about my prostate, and I don't know why. Like, it makes no sense in the context of the conversation.
It's because of the W's that you had tattooed to each ass cheek. Michael has a tattoo. He's got a W on the left ass cheek and a W on the right ass cheek, so that when he bends over, it says wow. And when he bends back, it says mom.
It makes no sense.
It's a true story.
It is a true story. As of now, it is a true story because Jim just made it up.
That's right. So
True lies.
We're moving on. I hope everyone
Please.
understands about tattoos now, because boy, we totally explained that. If you have a tattoo, do it. If you don't have a tattoo, do it. Nobody cares anymore.
Post photographs of your tattoos on the Isbaz HQ.
Oh, that's a good idea.
But. Oh, wait a minute. Is there any way to do it anonymously so we can guess whose tattoo is whose? You can't.
No.
Damn. That'd be nice. Oh well.
Yeah.
If you feel like sharing, share your tattoo on the Isbaz HQ.
Yeah. We could do a design contest. What would be a good Isbaz tattoo?
Ugh.
Just the logo?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
Or our faces?
Let's see what the team comes up with.
Speaking of our faces, did you check out the cover photo of this episode? I did that with an AI. We might explore that. It was hilarious.
Moving on?
Moving on. We're going to move on to our last chapter, chapter 3.
The best beauty advice is don't get a tattoo.
Chapter 3 on the best beauty advice. So, we're breaking it down like this. What is the best beauty advice you ever got? What is the best beauty advice you personally have learned and would give on to somebody else? Yeah, I guess those are the things.
All right.
What are your beauty tips? And while you're thinking about that, I'm going to say we should get a slurp in here and get new drinks for this last chapter.
Definitely. I'm almost done. So nice.
So nice.
So, beauty advice.
Beauty advice. What's your best beauty
So
advice?
I think the best beauty advice that I could give to anybody is stop using plastic throwaway razors. Because in my personal experience, they're really bad for the skin.
Plastic, the disposable razors.
Any kind of disposable razor, because after you've used them once, there's always all that gunk you can't get rid of between the razor blades.
You gotta rinse that shit out.
You can't rinse that shit out.
And then you rub it against your jeans.
It's almost impossible to get all. Right. Okay. So, whatever your experience is. Once I stopped using plastic throwaway.
What do you use instead of that?
Well, now I use a straight razor.
Of course, Michael uses a straight razor. Of course he does. Does it fold into a little safetyness? And you pull out the straight razor. Does it fold down?
Yeah.
Your straight razor? Yeah. And then you just scrape along. I got to get me into that. Do you use slurp slurp, everybody?
Slurp, slurp.
Where's my slurps? Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Home. Slurps. Why is my slurps not working? There it
Here
goes.
we go. Slurping. I was born slurping. Come on.
I was born slurping. 1974. I was born a slurper. 1974. My mama said, "You better go get some more."
Straight razor is much easier. You can clean it. You can really clean it properly.
Yeah.
You've got none of that gunk build up,
You can sharpen it properly.
and you can sharpen it properly.
Yeah. I hear you.
And once I started using a straight razor, I found I just had way less impurities in my face.
Yeah.
Like and like ingrown hairs and
Okay. so
inflamed pores and all this stuff.
have you used it anywhere else besides your face?
No.
Okay. So for the men out there, or the ladies looking to trim up their mustache, Uncle Mike says, straight razor, beauty advice number 1.
But it comes with a bit of a caveat because it's a learning curve.
I hear you. Yeah.
I think
like
for the first year, I just like regularly slice myself.
Yeah. I'm
But
going to say
these days, I can do it like pretty quick.
I hear you. I'm going to say best beauty advice. First one that comes to the top of my head is twofold. One, lose 4 kilos.
Oh yeah, that always helps.
I mean, that's not really what I mean. But what I mean is, just stay trim. As soon as you get pudgy and soft, your beauty is going to go down.
It's not true for everybody.
Not for
but most
everybody,
people.
but for the most part,
Yeah.
is just take care of yourself, And the second one is drink water.
Marcus is on about the water. Yeah. Drink enough water.
See, you're
Yeah.
already on the chat.
Sorry.
You're supposed to be
Sorry.
talking to me now. Focus is here.
I have eyes in the underside of my chin. I can read that.
Oh, can you?
While I'm looking at here.
Jesus, he's turning into a dad already, right before our eyes. They're not on the back of his head yet, those eyes. They're underneath his chin. So,
I can smell what those
yeah,
peppers are doing.
drinking water, that's going to do a lot for you. Drinking a ton of water is just going to make everything
Make you
better.
pee all the time.
Yeah, but just keeping your shit hydrated is a big thing.
This is true.
All right, I got another one.
Get some sun.
Yeah, you got to be careful about the sun.
I said some.
Get some.
Don't get all of it. Get some.
sun. Yeah, sure. That's gonna absolutely just a nice glow. Getting vitamin D in you is gonna help. Absolutely, you want to be careful about it. If you are prone to anybody nowadays, you should be wearing some sort of sunscreen or
We're all going to die of cancer.
We're all gonna die of cancer.
So get the sun.
So just go get some sun. But apropos the sun, creaming. I think this is after water. Creaming. Every part of your body can get creamed because the skin is your biggest organ. And that's the thing you need
That's
to
what
be-
you think. Like you haven't seen my biggest organ.
seen my biggest organ. Your skin might be your biggest organ, but my
So on the creaming front,
yeah.
I'm not of that opinion.
Okay, so we're gonna throw down and go to the death because you're wrong.
On the creaming thing,
Creaming is
like
this on. Oh,
you can cream a bit, but it's not gonna make a huge difference.
creaming is going
It
to
makes
make a huge difference.
It makes a difference. It makes a short-term difference, but it doesn't make a long-term difference.
Creaming is going
And it's
to
not
make
going
a
to
short
stop you
and
aging.
long time.
It's not going to stop you aging.
It will.
No, it's not. It's not.
Okay.
I do not believe that creaming.
Prove your work.
Like creaming. Well, you prove your work.
Well, I
dude.
asked you first.
Okay. The only evidence that I have to offer to this conversation is that my mom worked as a beauty advisor for 25 years for a kind of like an market makeup and beauty product company, right? And her lowdown on the creaming after 25 years of working for that company was it didn't make a bit of difference.
All right, so
and I'm kind of prone to take her thing on that because
I really wish that she was here in the chat, because sometimes your mom shows up in the chat. I really wish she was around for this one, because I would like to find out what your bullshit is that is filtered through her experience. Because, and I'm going to put it to you this way, I understand that there's a huge amount of scam and hypocrisy in the creaming industry, but that doesn't mean that creaming is not a thing. I think, of course, the best beauty advice is get good genes. Your genes are going to keep you as beautiful for as long as possible. That's really what it's going to be. But there are, between nature and nurture, there are some things that you can do. And creaming is going to keep your skin hydrated. Your skin is your largest organ, and by keeping it hydrated, keeping it supple, is going to help. Now,
all the skin that you see is already dead. Like, all of this is already dead. It's like...
There is a difference. If you use eye cream, I remember back in the day, Henrietta Conchil.
Yes, I remember her.
She would always be on me. She would just be like, Jim, what is it? Why you never age? And I said, it's because of my eye cream. And Valerie actually got me onto the eye cream. And I use eye cream, and it helps. Now, I have got some good genes. I've always looked young, and I'm always going to look young. Okay, for another 2 years, and then it's all going downhill over one day.
Yeah.
But I think creaming is a help, and it's definitely going to be a help if that creaming is sunscreen, because that's...
I'm not saying sunscreen. I'm talking about creaming.
I know, but I'm talking about creaming in general and adding.
It doesn't include sunscreen. Now, come on.
It in there
you can't add sunscreen into the cream.
Of course you can, because there's plenty of face creams or creams for your ears that include a sunscreen protection, but they are actually there for Feuchtigkeit.
Yeah, okay, but this is you can't include that in the sunscreen. Sunscreen is another completely different conversation. And putting sunscreen in every fucking product is one of the reasons why we are vitamin D deficient.
Okay. All right.
You should not buy products with sunscreen in them. If you're using sunscreen anyway, if you don't go in the sun.
So, I personally go against this advice. I cream after, but I don't use sunscreen. And I haven't used sunscreen in a number of years. Do you remember the time we were on Mallorca and the machine convinced me that, oh, you're so hell, you gotta wear some sunscreen, and this is super biodegradable, hypoallergenic, blah, 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 blah. And I got that Ausschlag over my whole body from that sunscreen.
But to be fair, every time we've been to Mallorca, I was drunk for 2 weeks.
Okay, there is that. Well, it happened, and I didn't like sunscreen before that, and after that, I never did it again. But now that I'm getting older, I think there is something to be said about putting on the sunscreen in those places that you want to keep unsullied by the cancer that is coming for us all. Now, your argument that wearing sunscreen makes us vitamin D deficient.
Wearing sunscreen all the time. It doesn't have to be in every product.
But nobody's wearing it all the time.
Well, if you're wearing it, if it's in a product that you put on every day, you are wearing sunscreen all the time.
But if it's in a product that you're wearing every day, the product is on. I'm saying it's on your face, on the delicate, thin skin on your face.
Yeah, but people like you who spend most of their day indoors, this is the only skin that gets any kind of sun.
This is such bullshit. Jesus Christ. What I'm saying is that I think you can go the sunscreen route. You can also go the Dosierung, to dose it, which is what I do. You know, when you don't
All of those
remember-
products have 50%.
I'm not talking about the
Yeah,
dosage
50
of this
fif-
cream. I'm
50
talking about the
factor,
dosage of the sun. So that when I go sunning, I know I'm going out for 20 minutes and then I'm going into the shade for a while. And then I'm coming back out. And I'm dosiering the whole thing. It only takes 7 minutes on average for human beings to start to produce melanin. Right? If we're talking about the sun, when you go out into the sun, melanin. It takes 7 minutes for it to react. After 12 minutes, you've reached peak melanin in pure UVA, UVB rays. So, if you really wanted to, be scientific about it, you go out, you let the sun hit you for 7 to 12 minutes. After 12 minutes, you get out of it, because then the melanin
And then you go back the next day.
is activated. Exactly. You're not going to get much more out of it. And so anytime, any amount of sun
If you go
after
out
that,
without sunscreen.
if any amount of sun after that is just egregious, it's just more than you need.
Well, those are the times that you need sunscreen for.
Exactly. And so sunscreen.
I'm not contesting that.
No.
I'm contesting wearing the sunscreen all the time.
I hear you. Moco. A 15 is normal in facial cream, and that's really low. And absolutely, it's quite low. Nowadays, and because of global warming, because global warming is a thing, you can put on liquid sweater. The number is how long you can stay out after those 12 minutes. That's what the SPF factor is how long after.
It also depends on your skin type.
Absolutely, and so it's a sliding scale, and you have to kind of dial it in for yourself. But being careful of the sun, I think, is right up there beauty advice.
I guess
along
so.
with water,
Sure.
and having good genes.
Get some sun, not too much.
All right, I've got another beauty advice. Wear clothes that fit you.
Yes.
Buy clothes that fit you.
So
or buy clothes and get them to fit you.
But this also comes back to staying in shape, because you buy clothes, then you get out of shape, and you continue to wear the same clothes because you don't want to buy new clothes all the fucking time.
That's right.
So buying clothes is actually one of the things that that I use to force myself to stay within a certain limit, because I don't want to buy new clothes all the time.
Right. But clothes that fit you, or that you have tailored to fit you, will do.
That's definitely
it just does so much work for you.
Sure.
It will get you will look so much better just because the shit fits you.
Okay, well, here's another one that goes with that is forget about fashion.
That's right.
Because whatever is fashionable is probably made for androgynous boys.
Yeah, or that it's a short-lived thing. That's why. Yeah, I totally agree. I would say find out. It's always first it's cut, then it's color, and then it's material. Cut, color, material. Cut, color, material. If your silhouette good in this thing, is the cut good for you? Boom. Is the color good for you? Boom. Is the material varied? So in your
Figure out which
boom.
are the 3 colors that actually work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
And then go
pretty good
classic,
idea.
just because there are certain things that will always just look good on a person. And your personal style and how you individually develop that's all good and fine. I think what Uncle Mike is trying to say is you don't have to follow fashion. Just because parachute pants are awesome doesn't mean they're ever going to.
Well, they're just awesome this year. They're going to be shit
Exactly.
next year, and everybody who bought them is going to be stuck with them.
Exactly.
I like this. Creaming makes you shiny, and that's all. I kind of agree with you there to an extent, Father Clay. We all look young till we turn 45, then suddenly, bam. I think if you look young till you're 45, you're actually pretty lucky. I think there's lots of people who don't look young.
Oh,
when they're
dude.
45 anymore.
Oh, seriously. Oh, seriously. I've got a lot of friends.
I know a lot of people who like hit the end of 30 and they start looking like parents.
Yeah, absolutely. I ran into Pila not too long ago.
Yeah.
Hadn't seen her in a long time. And we were just sort of on our way, a brief little, hey, how are you doing? Hey, how are you doing? She just looked at me and goes, you just don't get older, do you? She was pissed about it.
On the other hand, her sister,
Yeah.
she doesn't get older either.
Yeah, that's true. Neither of them do. Neither of them do.
Yeah, well, okay.
Well, you dated one. You remember when.
I guess so.
Who didn't he date? I mean, seriously. Michael had to go through the whole buffet to find out where the dessert was.
I was looking for the shrimp.
I heard there was like this really nice, thinly sliced roast beef. Could not find that station. I was looking for the shrimp.
Okay. So,
What else you got for beauty
so moving
advice?
on, beauty advice. Well, I think getting rid of old skin is something that's going to make you easier to look at.
So you're saying you're a fan of the exfoliating?
I'm a fan of using a pumice stone on your feet, for instance.
Ooh. That's
Like
attention to
if you're going to
detail.
go out if you're going to go out in summer and like hang out on someone else's deck,
Make sure your shit's right.
and then make sure your feet don't look like you're a hobbit.
Right, right. Have you ever met a potential partner who just said, I don't touch feet? Like, I find that's a woman thing. I know a lot of women that are like, nope, I don't like feet.
Really?
And I think it's because they've had a lot of bad experiences with male feet.
Oh, I see. Possibly.
Yeah.
I always thought that was but that's a good explanation, actually.
Yeah. I'm going to say another beauty advice, just to, keep your shit straight, is going to be hygiene in general. Like staying trim, I think hygiene goes a long way. Now, there's a lot of leeway
Floss.
in hygiene, right? There are some people that are like, okay, I'm going to shower every day. There's going to be people that are like, I'm going to shower every other day. People are like, I'm going to shower every day, but I'm not going to use soap every day.
Do you use soap every day?
No. I mean,
Like, I find if I shower every day and I use soap, it dries out my skin.
yeah, I use soap strategically probably every day, like pits, crotch, ass, feet. Mm-hmm. I think I'm soaping every day, but
Yeah.
or at least
Every second day.
Every second day, but there's a lot of, I'm not going to soap everything every day.
No.
No,
You shouldn't.
certainly not.
I think that's beauty advice. That's good beauty
I
advice
think
to
we
not
had
soap
something
everything.
right. Yeah, Grandma always told me never to use soap on my face.
Yes.
The oils keep your skin. Yeah.
There's a lot to be said for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And we're so indoctrinated that soap keeps you clean,
Yeah.
but actually, it's water that keeps you clean. We use water to clean things. We only need soap to degrade oil or grease.
Right.
So if your face is already dry, you don't need soap on that thing.
Yeah. It's like shampooing every day.
Yeah.
Is you're stripping the hair of oils, and so
And the scalp.
exactly. Here's the okay. Here's my real secret advice. Get a good eye cream. An eye cream that will take care of puffiness or dark circles. And there's a couple of good ones on the market. You can spend a lot of money. You don't have to, though. Go from the outside to the inside. And then eye drops. that will carry a lot. That will carry a lot. Now, I say this full in the knowledge that Uncle Mike has spent weeks trying to get his eyes to look as bloodshot, dark, and shadowy as possible for whatever effect he's going for. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people out there that like the effect he's going for. There's
Like the vampire look.
yeah, and that's a particular taste thing. But if you're looking for some way to like have that makeover thing, or just to feel fresh and
Which is your preferred brand of eye drop? And is it available in Europe?
Okay, so the ones that I use in Europe, in Austria, I use Ofatugal. It's something like that. Ofa or Ofutagal. And it just what it does is it constricts the blood vessels in your eye. You don't want to use it every day. You don't want to use it more than once a day. But like before a show, I'll use that, or a photo shoot, or if I'm, at the beginning of the day, or if I've smoked a bunch of marijuana, I'll do that.
You smoke marijuana?
Who knows? And then...
Do you have a tattoo to prove it?
I've got a tattoo to prove it. Says, fucks up, Duba, and I'm smoking a Duba.
Yes. Get a tattoo that says, yes, it's a roach.
Yeah. But that will just brighten everything. That'll just that'll make you look shiny.
And thank you, Monica, for reminding me. The best thing you can do for your looks is sleep a lot.
Oh, all right. Water. Okay, number 1,
And sleep.
good genes. Number 2, lots of water. Number 3, sleep. Yes. Yes.
I've never slept less in my whole life. And I've actually thought about something you said. It must have been at least a year and a half or 2 years ago, Monica. I was saying, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll have energy and time to do this or that and whatever." And you were like in the chat, like, "Yeah, we'll see." And you are so fucking right. Man, there's days where I think, I'd just like to do one thing for 15 minutes, and it just doesn't fucking happen.
Philly Girl 1000 saying, my 7th grade science teacher told us that water cleans you inside and out. I've never forgotten it. And neither have I. I have said that over and over.
Yeah.
Water cleans you inside and out. I used to say it in German, and it meant nothing in German. What I would say is, Wasser macht man sauber drinnen und draußen.
Wasser ist zum Waschen da.
Nein, that's not the same thing. What I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Oh, okay. Good.
I'm saying what the Spruch is in German.
Right. But
Wasser ist zum Waschen
But
da.
that doesn't get
It doesn't do
across.
the inside and outside thing.
Yeah. I'm wondering, that's the I'm a good dad look. Is that the his vampire eyes, I'm a good dad look?
I think that's what she was alluding to, yeah.
Yeah. And interestingly, Follower of Clay says, it's already late, must be good vodka today.
Yeah, I'm surprised how late it is. I was
Yeah.
gonna get the train in 10 minutes, but that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. We just jumbled on and on. But thank you very much for reminding us, Follower of Clay, our behind-the-scenes producer. So that was chapter 3. That's all the beauty advice. Take it or leave it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Those were our 3 chapters. Our next show,
Do we
the
know
next
when the next show
ISBAZ,
is?
will be coming up. We'll let you know in the ISBAZ HQ. If there's anybody out there that has never been there, the ISBAZ HQ is a Facebook group, ISBAZ HQ.
Yes.
Go hang out there. There's lots of nice folks doing all kinds of great stuff. Follower of Clay is a total hero
It's
there.
like mushroom photos galore.
Yeah, or weird ass recuts of stuff and quizzes and people who are helping each other do or get whatever it is that they need to do or get. So go and hang out there.
Excuse me.
We also know that a couple of people out there are getting stickers. We've got a bunch of stickers that you can get.
Oh!
Some people have won them. Uncle
Yes,
Mike is
like
very behind.
Philly Girl and Verena
Yeah.
have won stickers.
Yeah.
So, and if anybody can guess what the colour of my tie is today, you get some stickers too. And when I have 15 minutes, I will send you some stickers.
Yeah.
Mail them in the snail mail
He
to
might
your
even
post
put in
address.
a picture of a tired face of his, or maybe even, like a little, not a face, maybe just a picture of a foot of one of those twins that is keeping him up all the time. Who knows?
A photograph of some baby bath on the
carpet.
on the easily cleanable floor.
Yeah. Or a picture of just a stream of barf going directly into a toilet, scarring that child for life. Moko says black tie.
Nope.
Nope. That's the last hint we're going to give. Well, I don't know. In any case, that's the end of the show. Thank you all for hanging out with us for this very long version of Isbaz. You guys are the only reason we keep doing this. No, that's not true.
I thought you were doing it for me.
I have a lot of fun doing it with you. That's not true at all. I really do.
Yeah. Thank you. I have a lot of fun doing it too.
Just remember, no matter what the subject,
Or what it was about.
even if you disagree,
You can always hug it out.
should we hug it out?
We should hug it out. And yes, purple is the correct answer.
Father of Clay getting some stickers. I'm going to call it purple.
Is it not purple?
Yeah.
Oh, it's purple enough.
It's
Come
purple
on.
enough.
What would you say this is? Mauve?
Aubergine.
Aubergine. Okay, where's the
Eggplant.
Where's the thing? Credits.
Yeah, it's going to be there.
Goodbye.
Hug it out, everybody. Good night. Things you could have tattooed on your body as our post-credit thingy.
Snail.
A picture of a motorcycle.
An airplane.
A four-leaf clover.
The black pearl.
A yin-yang symbol.
The faces of your children.
The face of a celebrity.
The feet of your children.
Just a foot.
A question mark.
An exclamation mark.
A potato.
A picture of a dog licking its butt.
A potato that looks like a thingy.
A potato that's licking its thingy.
A potato that looks like a dog licking its thingy.
Let's think about places that you could put a star tattoo.
Look at this. Follower of Clay said they're so trashed by all the vodka they drank, they forgot to mention us. That's some tradition, us.
Oh, he's saying we forgot to say goodbye to people.
We are. Dang.
So let's say goodbye to people.
Okay, so hi biker 732,000. Nice to have you in.
Philly Girl 1000, thanks to have you here.
Follower of Clay.
Moko, thank you very much.
Marcus Booker.
Noah Kennedy, thank you very much.
Catherine Martinez. Thank you very much. And I think that was it.
And I think that's everybody. Yeah. Marcus and Noah and Philly and
so much for traditions.
Yeah.
Dang.
There's your traditions for you.
Ulrike Ida.
Ulrike Obama. Ada Obama. Ada Obama.
Ada Obama.
Ada Obama.
Ulrike Ida Obama.
Ada Obama. Ada Obama.
So that was our show.
Yeah, that was our post-credit thing.
Have a nice week. Have a nice, I don't know, couple of weeks. It's going to be a while before we do a show again. At least 2 weeks, I think.
At least 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But check out the Isbaz HQ. Michael's going to put up all the stuff that he's doing. It's going to be